Hello and welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. We're at episode 862. This is being recorded on April 1st, 2026, but it's no joke. This real. It's happening. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
Still not joking. I'm Brett Van Springberg.
And I'm Ryan Shrout. April Fools. I'm Kit Burgess.
You almost had
spaghetti
me.
trees are real.
I know.
Almost.
The two of you look so similar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe if he was wearing
coloring.
a Qui-Gon Jinn
Identical.
mask. All right. You know what? The reason we do this podcast is because you just won't let us stop. We have tried and we have failed at quitting. And it's all thanks to you. So let's thank our patrons this week.
Yeah, we definitely have the 1330 Calgary Man and a special, Josh, I believe I forwarded you. Calgary Man, by the way, much appreciated. I think the 1337 is a little elitist, though, don't you think? So Calgary Man, Jeremy, does this imply a person from Kyrgyzstan? Wondering about that?
Well, I mean, first off, it's Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Calgary. That's just, you know.
Oh, that's a
gives
soap,
you away as a Yank.
It's the Calgary Stampede.
Calgary. So if I'm sorry if I mangled that. So I appreciate your corrective.
But we still love you, even though you're from Calgary.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And Josh, I think we've got a special. What do you want to say? Personal
what's
message.
his name again?
That would be the Grim Traveler.
Grim Traveler. I saw them in concert. That whole harmonica big guy doing that. I mean, awesome songs for the late 90s. Why you always give me the sickle around? It's a surefire way to get me buried, and all I ever got to do is I don't know. But anyway, Grave Traveler,
Grim
Death Mover, Smoky
Heartbreaker.
Now you're just doing it on purpose.
I don't know, but you know what? We appreciate your patronage, and I hope you do in fact play the harmonica, and you should send us a sample soon.
They probably
you should
will
sing Night Moves,
or at least guest star on Night Court. Oh, that they don't do that show anymore. Never mind.
Or send us a sample.
No, it's back again.
Play your favorite.
Yeah, but I think they canceled it.
Play a harmonica rendition of your favorite YouTube library, royalty-free music, and we will absolutely play it on the podcast.
That will get attached. Oh yeah,
Yes,
Absolutely.
Or just mangle something so badly no one can tell what it is, and we can still probably get away with it.
Right, like My Heart Will Go On a recorder, that, or play something on a rubber chicken.
Oh, what a great outro that would make. Please do that.
Josh,
I've talked about this before. Is that to be truly great at something is wonderful, except of course if you're the world's greatest kazoo player.
while you're here
you do.
on screen, can you please tell us about your burger of the week?
Today was a bad day for multiple reasons. Not just the burger. But you see, the problem with the burger is that there was no burger. I mean, I did get the new peppercorn bacon Whopper, but it didn't look that great. And it was okay, but, it's Burger King. They're kind of at the bottom of the fast food chain. Know what I'm saying?
Josh, this looks pretty healthy. So
It does. That actually came out of my colon.
okay. This is a picture of some kind of a kale salad that Jeremy linked to. So if you're listening to the podcast, don't get the wrong idea.
Lies.
But no, they were born in the barn. They're closed for the next couple of weeks. So
That's not cool, man.
Yep. What are you going to do?
no, it's not.
As long as they come back.
Okay, speaking of comeback, we're moving seamlessly into the news section. DDR5 prices could be making a comeback. Now, let's just go to the source. First, we're going to look at a tweet, and then we'll look maybe at some of the source material that led to this as I clicked the wrong thing. So Hardware Canucks posted a couple days ago that Sam Altman buying up, and he puts buying up in quotation marks, 40% of DRAM wafers was actually letters of intent. If there is no actual intention of converting them into purchases now, if they're scaling back their purchasing at OpenAI, so that's not good.
He did it with imaginary money to buy imaginary RAM. Right.
So look at this screenshot of Micron Technology, and after this news drops, they're down $31, $32 a share.
Doesn't this maneuver get you hauled into the SEC for market manipulation?
Oh, you're so 1990s.
I guess there's maybe something
only like Elon Musk
being inferred here because there's a story from the Telegraph.
So what I want to know is, the original contracts were leaked in August. Why did it take 6-7 months before we had access to those things to actually see that they were just letters of intent?
Vulture capitalists don't like admitting that they're playing with imaginary money that isn't even theirs. And we've had a couple of recent events that have made it doubtful that they'll be able to manufacture the RAM at this point, let alone fulfill it, let alone the other side being able to continue this exponential growth for a variety of reasons, like you've mentioned, with the power. And we're just sort of seeing, and Jensen, what was that, 3 months ago, saying the time for investing in these companies is over, you've missed the boat. I think it's all just sort of come to a head. And Google has also made it even more interesting, which I don't know if we want to jump into immediately, but yeah, it's like 20% down for Western Digital. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, a month ago, at least, SK Hynix and Samsung both came out. And it's like, well, we're scaling back.
Yeah.
As our build outs of other things. And that, was obviously a big, red flag out there that the demand is decreasing rapidly. I guess that the primary demand from when that was announced to when there was a big ramp up was a lot of kind of middleman companies purchasing all of this DRAM, thinking that, we're going to stock up on all this cheap, inexpensive memory, both NAND and DRAM. Sorry, Kelt is going to just whip me around. But anyway,
he's DRAM wrong.
And thinking that, we're going to get this, the money's going to go up, and, everybody's going to have to buy at these higher prices because there's so much demand, and there's still going to be people who need to buy cell phones and new PCs and companies doing this, and they're just going to eat that price. And that memory just stayed there. I mean, some people were buying, you have to, but it just, and now there, I think there's some panic selling. Spot prices are down dramatically, at least in China. And we may see that through the rest of the world. And this is great. I am excited.
I'd be willing to bet that the FTC is going to take a very close look at anyone associated with Sam Altman to see if anyone short sold any of the RAM manufacturers' stock.
Wouldn't it be easier to find the people that didn't short sell the stock? Because there's probably only like 3 or 4 of them, and they're really upset right now.
Here's the frustrating thing. That story, the tweet was from 2 days ago, March 30. Here we are. And Micron is up $30. So it dipped down.
Yeah, buy the dip, by the way.
It's right back where it was, if not higher.
But that is Trend Force's fault.
They're still going to be selling. But it's, I think that this cash infusion for some of these memory makers may have been, in ways a good thing but they needed to catch where the wind was blowing and, stop a lot of their manufacturing expansion because simply the market really still isn't there. But they've capitalized on what they've done, and now they've got kind of a treasure chest of money that they haven't had in a long time.
So, Jeremy, what is this TurboQuant stuff?
See, this is the good news, bad news, both at the same time. Part of what triggered this fall, and like I just said, there's a number of things that did, but one of them was Google announcing something they're calling TurboQuant at the end of last week, which reduces the amount of memory you need to run some traditional LLM models by 6 times. So all of a sudden, you don't need anywhere near as much, and we're still looking at it, but memory could also include storage. So Probably not the 6 times for the actual flash memory, but it means flash storage. You probably need a little bit less of that as well, because what it's doing is compressing everything. This is good news in that, in theory, this will vastly reduce the demand of imaginary RAM that was paid for by imaginary dollars, and maybe someday we'll actually see some of it make it off the assembly line and not immediately be snatched up by the likes of Altman and Google. Oh, wait. So they're the ones who developed this, and they're also really pushing their own LLM. And this is where the bad news comes in, is that TrendForce, who is a company that watches these sort of markets, especially the flash right now, because that's where all the money is being made by people other than us. The thing is that if you drop the amount of RAM needed, that doesn't necessarily mean that you just pay 6 times less as you would have, because you've already got the budget. You buy 6 times as much. And boom, instead of laying out 1 server farm for your LLM, you can actually lay out maybe 3 or 4. But as Josh and I have alluded to, that there are other bottlenecks, like the actual delivery of helium to produce RAM, the power you're going to need, because power grids are not set up to do this, and it's a bit of a wait, and there's nothing the market likes more than having to wait before they can see a return on their investment. So it's hard to say, is it good news in that it can drop the amount of memory that LLMs need, or is it absolutely no change, because all it means is, since they've already got these budgets, they're just going to spec out bigger, better LLM farms, and we're going to be in the same boat that we were, last week. I don't know. It's really hard to tell right now.
They may not scale physically. I know you were just talking about like scaling out their physical footprint or the server farm and size space. They may actually just build out more intensive or larger models they just may buy that memory anyway and just scale their model space a little bit more. Like what they're waiting for, the price per, I'm sure there's a complicated calculation based upon the size of the model that they can accommodate, based upon RAM and cooling, et cetera. And how much money. It's the same $100 billion that everybody's making. By the way, we should, if you're sort of inferring that it's $100 billion going between all the players. Anyway, so they're just figuring out how to more better. It's not even a word. To better optimize their footprint.
It's cromulent.
Use of the the use of the model space is what they'll probably do, in my opinion.
Yeah. So it sounds like brilliant news right away. It's the state of the market right now. Who knows? But there is a little glimmer of hope.
And just a moment ago, I had put up on the screen the news story from TrendForce News about the DDR5 price pullback at retail because of a market correction. So I think, Josh, you had tweeted about this earlier. There was actually a little bit of hope because some decent DDR5 was selling for, under $400 for a 32 gig kit, which is, I guess that's good.
That's like the same price as it was back in October, and not the $600 that it hit. some months back. Can you see my anger from there?
Yes. Well, your new haircut lets the steam rise off of your head very much
Yeah.
more effectively.
Yeah. Looks nice, Josh.
Newegg was selling RAM kits this past 2 weeks from a couple of different manufacturers, I think, where it was 32 gigs of 6,000 and 6,400. Both were almost $700 for the kit, but you got a free 7800X3D CPU with them.
Oh,
It's not terrible.
Not bad CPU. Not bad CPU.
No,
These prices are definitely lower. Here we have Crucial Pro 6400 CL32 for $369.99.
What's the price they have crossed out up there?
Yeah, I think these are still insane prices. These are 64 gigabyte kit prices, but
I'm
it
going
was something that scrolled past around 250.
249.
it's only a 16 gigabyte kit.
Oh, 16 gig kit. Okay.
Don't be fooled.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited.
Yeah, 370 is about.
And it's CAS, yes.
Today. CIS today.
Real quick, we're going to check into the DLSS 4.5 world because that dynamic multi-frame generation 6X frame generation is here. So they announced it. Now you can actually get it. Now, if you want all the features that DLSS 4.5 has to offer, you really need to upgrade to a 50 series card because you're not going to get that dynamic multi-frame generation with the 40 series. I'm sorry. Look, it's got a little line through it. So if you have
you need to buy that 5070 Ti for $1,000 before these memory prices impact our sales.
Meanwhile, this guy's hair just keeps getting crazier every time.
More like a mushroom.
That's DLSS.
Oh, I see. It wasn't. Okay.
What about me? I'm on a 90 series card, so I should be super good, right?
So yeah, we've heard all of this before. We've heard about this feature before. Now it's live. So I don't know if there's actually a list of games I can look at, but it's a 50 series only thing. So you'd better have one before you even look into this.
I've got one.
And you're not even using it.
Well, it's in my main machine, and I don't use it as much as my racing sim room machine. Should probably swap them out. What do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Sebastian, you were bringing up that you need a 50 series card for this, but I'm sure that there's hundreds and hundreds of games at this point that support the multi-frame generation feature, aren't there?
Oh,
doubtless. I mean, they wouldn't bring this out if there weren't tons and tons of games that already support multi-frame generation, right?
There aren't even dozens of us.
You sound somewhat bitter, and it's okay. As a 4090 owner, you're lashing out. I have a 50 series card too. Well, I've got a 5070 in my streaming computer. It's not a 5090, but okay.
Oh, nice.
It's fine. Look, nobody's judging you because you don't have the latest and greatest anymore. That's fine.
Besides, that 4090 is pretty much a 5090.
I just want to stop the podcast right here and say, Kent, it's okay to admit that your delidded and overclocked 13th gen Intel Core processor is just not as fast as a 2070K Plus, which is Intel's fastest gaming processor ever. Trademark. So, that's all. So, NVIDIA has also launched auto shader compilation for faster game loading and less stuttering. I thought Intel had something similar to this with Arc.
They do. Both Intel and AMD have done something similar.
Or NVIDIA.
This is
Well, now NVIDIA, yes.
Now NVIDIA. Yeah. Yep. So they're actually going to do this while the system is idle and not supposedly running any other graphically intensive tasks. And they're going to precompile these into storage. on your disk. So interestingly enough, that's what the plan is to take some of your disk space. And because this is good for you. Now it's opt-in. You have to go turn this on. So you should understand what this means before you give away gigs and gigs and gigs of storage and cycles when you're not doing anything else. That is going to be pre-compiling these shaders, but at least you won't get weird stuttering mid-game, and it will improve your launch times potentially. So yay, NVIDIA.
Nobody likes loading up a game and then waiting for shader compilation because you forgot you updated your graphics driver. And
wait, what? No, I love it because it gives me a chance to sit back and drink a beer.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Get tuned in.
Josh is like
tuned up.
Scratch behind my ears with my foot.
Wait a minute.
So the latest game ready driver will support this. There's a new switch in there for turning on pre-compiling shaders.
Your performance may vary, but yes.
You know, guys, I think we buried the lead. I forgot about this. It was
it's coming at a perfect time.
Unexpected announcement from AMD just a few days ago. After we podcasted, of course, they had a video announcement of the processor that we all knew about. We've all seen the rumors.
Yay.
And the leaks. And it's official. The Ryzen 9 9950 X3D2 dual edition. It's 2 times the 3D V cache.
208 megabytes of cache.
It's the chosen one.
Yeah.
Though
they haven't talked about the price though.
No.
Well,
and do you notice that it's kind of been a workstation looking package rather than consumer with the orange?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that was never said in the presentation is that this is a faster gaming CPU than the 9800 X3D or 9850 X3D. Sorry. They just said that, if you're a gamer, but you want to use a computer for more than that, if you're doing compiling of workloads, video editing, things like that, then this is going to be the better processor if you're using processes that use more cores. And
isn't that exactly what Intel was marketing their new processors as?
Never one to miss a trick. Wait, we can do the same thing.
No, because you're absolutely right, because what you're looking at is a slightly reduced peak clock speed. So single core will run slightly slower. I think 5.6 versus 5.7-ish. Just over.
9850 X3D is 5.6. So depending on how your system plays with the scheduler, I don't know. I was hoping that this would just be one of those scheduler headache-free products because it's symmetrical. No. You've got two of the X3D CCDs.
Yeah, but they still have to communicate with each other through Infinity Fabric. So that's going to slow stuff down.
Well, and I mean, if you're going to disable the multi-threading, it gets, what do you think, less interesting or more interesting with game mode? Right? Like, I want to see it in action.
Yeah.
Before I
here's the thing. Sorry to interrupt, but
continue.
I think that a couple of people are going to get samples, and that's it. And
so I'm going to get a
sample. Going to buy their own.
No.
Are you saying that
nobody here is getting a sample?
We'll have a day one review, and a lot of other people won't.
And some random YouTuber guy. Or Instagrammer guy at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
Or gal. Could be a gal.
By the way, speaking of...
Somebody that has... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, speaking of processors and not having them, you cannot currently buy that Core Ultra 7 270K Plus for $299. In fact, it went up to $319 and then almost immediately to $349.99, where it seemed to settle. So
that's too much.
The rumor that Intel and AMD are both going to be raising their prices soon it seems to have panned out, at least from Intel, because we're talking.
You don't think that was demand? That wasn't demand? I mean, it
could have been demand
CPU.
because now it's just straight up sold out on Newegg. But
right.
I will say, even at $349, that's pretty good considering the other one was over $500. But
there have also been some rumors of some CPU shortages kind of sneaking into the system, unfortunately, as well, to follow on to all the RAM and everything else. A little bit of the same coming to CPU space.
So, looking at that, because CPUs do take a lot longer to produce than like memory, we could see that they probably changed overproduction to the higher end stuff, and the consumer things are going to be less available. But going back to, again, the data center thing, all these companies who are buying these CPUs, they're putting them in warehouses, not powered up. Eventually, it is going to catch up. And Intel and AMD are probably already seeing it and adjusting their manufacturing. And if they can time it correctly to get good amounts of CPUs out there by the time memory and storage starts going down in price, they're going to make pretty good money in the retail and consumer side. But gosh, they've been awful tight-lipped. I mean, this whole entire AI thing, there's got to be some investigations going on because it's just all smoke and mirrors. I mean, I'm not saying the technology is terrible, but how they're trying to implement it on the physical side is just ludicrous. Anyway, carry on.
No, sir. No, sir. I don't like it a bit.
So Geekbench, everyone's favorite Apple-friendly benchmark suite, has decided that after investigation, the 30% jump using Intel's iBot is it's sus. They're not a fan.
It was a bit sus.
So the performance gain attributed to newly vectorized instructions. I didn't know if vectorized was a verb, but it is now.
It is.
It always has been. So do you remember back in the days when we started talking about scalar versus vector? NVIDIA had primarily scalars, so they had high kind of granularity in how they do things, but AMD utilized 16 and 32 wide vector units for some of the things. And so if they can put together a bunch of scalar operations to become a vector and you throw that in, it goes faster. And so this is kind of the same thing. It's like a real-time compiler that Intel has done that has taken a bunch of scalar operations and compacted them into a vector for their vector unit to handle. It's the same thing as SIMD. It's single instruction, multiple data. It's you pack all of these instructions together into a vector and you throw it through as a chunk, and it does everything faster and it makes scheduling easier in ways. So yeah, they're doing some interesting things on the software and the pre-compiling part, and they're getting good performance out of it. And people are saying that they're cheating.
No. So when Apple does it, when Apple has optimizations like this, that's just clever. That's that integration between the OS and the hardware. When Intel
that's
does
what people say.
Geekbench says we can't. We are invalidating those results because they make Apple look worse on our charts. That shows that Apple. Because remember when they were like, "Hey, your average iPhone is actually faster than any Intel Core i9 processor out there."
Andy.
What? Really? Okay. I don't know about that.
Funny you should mention that that iPhone processor in their newest laptop is actually playing some AAA titles at reasonable frame rates.
According to Geekbench, it's
not Geekbench.
Yeah, not the actual gamers, but the Geekbench. No, it's going to be
GPU
aces.
tests are amazing.
In all honesty, this speaks very well for the new 270K Plus and the new 250K Plus from Intel. They're doing some really good things.
Sure.
It's actually a compliment.
I see that blue light behind you. I know where your weekends lies.
I mean,
They verified that this was legitimate optimization on Intel's part, and it's very clever how they're doing it. They're taking binaries with a lot of, as Josh was saying, a lot of scalar instructions, like right in the compiled binary. The precompiler's taking a look at it and recompiling it into vector operations and getting a hell of a speed boost if it can squeeze it out, which is very, very cool.
What if you have an embarrassing email address, but it's everything. It's your main email for all of your accounts everywhere, but you just don't like giving it out because you're just ashamed. Well, now all Google users in the US can change their Gmail address, and your old email will still be available as an alternate address. This is a story at Engadget. Is this an April 1st joke or is it real?
I think it's real. I suspected it of being an April 1st joke as well, but I think it's real.
So there's no way for me to verify. I'm not in the U.S., but that's the part that makes me think it is real. Is it's only the U.S.
Give it 6 months, you'll be the 51st state. It'll be fine, Jeremy.
Yeah.
No, go to your email
settings.
Bud.
That's right, Sebastian. Yeah, go ahead.
Click on personal info, then click on email, then click on Google account email, and then Rick Astley will start singing a song to you. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not. Maybe you could actually change your account email. You know, even Sony started letting you change your account name. And
will your hot Seb 446 email still work, or is that?
As long as I still get my push notifications for that one, I'll be fine. I don't care what the outward facing name is. We've talked about Apple more than once in this podcast already, or possibly only once, but now it's more than once because we're talking about the Mac Pro. And
much like Joan Rivers.
Yes, much like Joan Rivers, the Mac Pro, which was unnecessary. I'm not saying that she was unnecessary. I don't know why we keep talking about her, but the Mac Pro was this big,
is dead,
bloated, unnecessary product in the Apple Silicon world. Now, there was a time when this was an Intel Xeon powered monstrosity with more PCI Express slots than you could possibly imagine.
It even had a special GPU slot. It has some special card slots as well as regular PCIe slots. It was a regular monster that, for a short period of time, had a place and was rapidly outclassed by the M series when those came along. Because who needs slots? You just don't need them. Plus, the M series, I don't even think they can easily talk to PCIe slots. Not very well. No, they just don't have. No.
That's kind of their weakness.
Yeah.
But if you're okay with external solutions for things like, acceleration and storage and whatnot, which I feel like most people are at this point, especially storage, it's just not necessary.
Brett loves his dongles.
He does.
All the way back to the FireWire era. 1394B.
Right, 1394.
1394A, 1394B.
Oh, who liked A? Come on.
Look it up, you kids. Get off of my yard.
Moving on from the Mac Pro story that at least 6 of you cared about, from Tom's Hardware, Microsoft issues an emergency update for Windows 11 to fix their broken March preview update rollout from last week. So they had to put a stop to that, but don't worry. You can install KB5079391 because it's improved.
Or can you?
And that name kind of has a ring to it, if you ask me.
I'm sorry. That's the bad one.
A fix for the patch that came out as a preview release. It just feels like, who is doing QA over there? Who's doing their quality control? Oh, that's right. You are.
Okay, so forget what I just said. Now it's KB5086672. That's the one you want.
Yes. But the ironic thing is that there's a good chance that the messed up update failed to install, and it just keeps telling you to retry, and you can't install it. But you can't install the fix for the messed up KB unless you've installed it. So then you're stuck on the retry and try again, because this is an out-of-band, the brand new out-of-band hotfix for, oops, we messed up on our last out-of-band hot fix. Oh yeah, this is a brilliant idea. We should just keep doing this. So eventually they will actually roll out a proper update. But in the meantime, those of us that, monitor is the machine up to its latest update. Well, no, it's not, because the screwed up one failed, and now the fix is failing, and this is not a bad thing, except your reporting is a bad thing. So yes, the out-of-band updates are going, 2 thumbs up here. Welcome to Insecurity Corner, your weekly reason to drink.
Our first story comes from PC Perspective, PCPer.com. Microsoft Copilot was injecting ads into GitHub polls, requests, and merges.
Oh,
I thought they weren't microslop anymore.
Yeah, that's why I used gaslighting for the picture from last week, because I knew they were. And it took me a while to find a large enough picture of the sign from Airplane to cut out the part that I shouldn't have put up there. But I'm assuming most people recognized it. So yeah, this was a brilliant idea from someone in Redmond who, when you were doing a pull request or a merge request, all of a sudden in the comments that you posted about what you did was hey, why don't you try Raycast? It's an amazing way to handle your pull requests, without letting anyone know. So you've typed out your notes as to why you're doing a merge, what is happening, and at the very beginning, suddenly there's a text ad just injected into what you'd written. And bizarrely, a lot of people were upset about this when they found out about it. That, wait a second, my merge request that is actually really important to know, or in pull request, really important for people to read through to know why I did this, starts out with an ad for a Copilot integration into GitHub or some other type of IDE. Weird how, people would be a little bit upset by this. It lasted not even a full day and a half before it was pulled, and Microsoft is like, geez, we kind of promised that we'd stop injecting Microslop into everything, but you guys keep calling it Microslop, so we're just going to keep doing it.
We can't help ourselves.
Who would think of this?
On reflection, Rogers said that he has since realized that letting Copilot make changes to PRs, that's pull requests, written by a human without their knowledge was a wrong judgment call. You don't say.
At what point did you think it was the right one?
Well, upon reflection, that was when they realized.
So at some point he thought, nope, this is the way people are going to love this.
At some point, there was a positive thought process that went along with solid idea. Let's definitely do this. Somebody greenlit this.
We need
it just happened.
The band hammer, like a literal big sledgehammer that when someone comes out in a meeting and just bong.
Yeah.
Can you reflect?
I think the AI is actually running Microsoft now.
Seriously, at this point.
Instead of other people actually just controlling it. It's like Vicky and iRobot.
A rational human being thinking this is brilliant.
Somebody did.
Did they, though?
A great way to get your product message in front of the people who can actually take advantage of it.
Hmm.
And then make them hate you forever.
Mm. Moving on, Google fixes their 4th 0-day for Chrome in 2026 so far. It doesn't seem like very many. I thought it was every week.
Yeah, they're not all 0 days. Some of them they already knew about. Maybe they're being exploited in the wild, and you just haven't upgraded or updated yet, or they just haven't issued the fix. The 0-day ones are the ones they didn't know anything about and are already being exploited in the wild. So this is a security flaw in the cross-platform web GPU standard. It's one of the classics, really, the use after free. So that means we forgot to do memory protection again. is basically what they're saying on that. So I think this almost goes without saying. Upgrade your browser. It's the same every week. Kind of a short story, but they're already exploiting this one. It has two fonts.
It's a month now that we're looking at 0 days that we know about. Because much like cockroaches, if you see 1 0 day, there are a lot more.
They actually fixed 8 in 2025. They already have 4 this year. So 8 all last year, 4 already in 2026. I don't think that bodes well. That's not a good rate.
No, it's really not. Get those numbers up. Or I mean,
bump those numbers. So you update your browser. Right. Probably should do it right now. We'll, as usual, we'll wait to you're done.
Just do it live.
Yeah.
We'll do it too. Now, should we try at this point to make sense of the US foreign router ban that we discussed last week?
We can try.
It's not easy. The problem here is what they're saying that they're doing for these reasons. We discussed them as to why that really wouldn't be the case. For example, this is the most obvious thing when they're saying, hey, no more new foreign-made routers can come into the United States. Well, what does that incentivize people to do? Does that incentivize them to upgrade to potentially the newest and greatest and built in the USA, probably much more expensive router pieces of hardware?
No, I'd rather stick with my security hole riddled router that I've got right now because it's going to keep getting security updates, right?
And no, that's part of the problem. The other problem is I'm talking about some potential built in the USA that's not there yet. There isn't a huge number of devices on the market that are built in the United States. So there's your problem.
And I was amazed.
You can't even buy one if you wanted to.
Yeah, I was amazed to find out Amazon's Eero is actually the number one. I would have assumed
that's actually the next story.
I did not expect this.
Yeah. So number of brands that are being hit. There's a chart at the bottom of this one, Sebastian, if you want to scroll down to it. Yeah, right there. So the number one, as Jeremy was saying, with 10% share based upon speed test samples, is Eero from Amazon. What we all sort of expected number one to be, which was TP-Link, has got a fractionally less percentage of the market at 9.9%. And Netgear, which interestingly enough, there's sort of a side story on this with Netgear. I'm pretty sure it's Netgear. I don't want to get that wrong, so we should probably check that. But that Netgear was actually a lobbyist listed as lobbying for consumer safety. Netgear is a U.S. manufacturer. They were lobbying Congress to say, foreign-built routers are scary.
Yeah. And Eero, technically also American. But this leads us back to the point that I didn't want to skip over. I just wanted to mention that was bizarre. Is that you're talking about something that might have been partially manufactured in a foreign country, but where is that kernel from? Where is the RAM from? Where is
so these components?
The idea that it was assembled or chunks of it were produced in this country. They've obviously introduced backdoors. Well, no, that hasn't been the problem. The stuff that the FCC cited was bad programming, insecure setups. It was
drivers, shareware, or not shareware, but freeware components that are part of the kernel. That are being.
We're not talking about hardware backdoors. So
not necessarily.
It makes almost no sense whatsoever to say, well, a chunk of this router was made here, or even better, the company that owns this router, that makes the profit from this router, is located in this country, but a good chunk of it was built in these other countries. Some of it was even built in the States, but because they're not a States-owned company, we're not only going to ban them new stuff. You can keep the old one, don't worry. It'll keep infecting you. It's fine. And we're going to cut off the updates next year.
Yeah, there's the problem. Cutting off the updates is a real situation. Now, by forcing the non-sale of the latest technologies, we're being blocked from potentially routers and systems that as much as you hate to see these older devices still being used and how difficult they were to patch, these companies are slowly coming around to upgradability and staying more on top of security situations. It's not that they're blind and deaf to it. It's just that they're slow to react. So some of the newer stuff that is potentially coming out of the market is a little bit better in how it can be patched and how more up to date that the manufacturers are going to try and keep them because of this problem that their FCC is now coming in and stepping on. Yeah, and also new technologies in, for instance, Wi-Fi technologies like Wi-Fi 7 or beyond. We're potentially being blocked out from them, or easy access to them, or inexpensive access to some of these technologies.
And let's not point out that the entire backbone of the internet in North America is Huawei, because that would just upset people.
Oh, please don't talk about that. No.
Yeah. So no, you want to love it because, hey, let's ban old, stupid, vulnerable routers.
But that's not what they did.
In the stupidest possible way that can be done. No, it's you want to love it, but no, it was done wrong and probably maliciously. Next up, VPNs.
The problem is the people in Washington that do the voting on these laws don't know anything. All they know is what lobbyists tell them and pay them to vote for.
It's a series of tubes.
They don't understand technology. If computers weren't as simple as they have gotten to be, none of them would even use a computer. But yeah, they're like these almost like voting drones. All they know is, a lobbyist told me this and gave me money for my reelection campaign, so I will go and I will press yes on this vote because somewhere in this bill is something that benefits the lobbyist who told me this. Okay, that's my political rant. Yeah, that's my political rant that Sebastian is going to have to cut out.
You sound so cynical. But yes, that's exactly how it works.
Yeah. That was why we mentioned it as well, because we feel that has an impact.
My cat is addicted to his stick, and he's now dragged it in and is yelling at me. So I'll be on mute a lot.
We will move to the next story. From Ars Technica, entire Claude Code CLI source code leaks thanks to exposed map file.
So thanks to a Claude.
This is like one of those haha moments. They accidentally published it in Git. I guess it's like 500,000 lines of code. But I think the security aspect of this is hackers are clearly poring over all of the code, which is very well written based upon folks who are in the know, who've looked at it, said it's very impressive. But they're looking through it clearly for holes and ways to exploit the CLI processing. So this is potentially a security hole in the making.
But the thing is that it'll actually probably be a nicer knockoff AI than Claude is. It's close. I mean, come on.
This is in fairness, they're the front end. This is the CLI front end, the parser, how it's handling caching and language understanding and things like that.
And they will probably improve it.
They might,
because they can make it worse.
People are going to take ideas from this. Go ahead, Josh.
So what's funny is that they coded in anti-security leaking stuff in Claude AI, so that it wouldn't accidentally give out secrets of things that not only they have done but other things that they have trained on and secrets there. And of course, it takes a human to include a map file into a Git.
Upload. There was a legitimate DNS
they did it at the end of day. They did it at the end of day.
Yes.
And everybody went home and they slept the entire night. And in those 12 hours or so, it's bad news.
There is a legitimate DNS hole that they have since plugged. Also very interesting. But we didn't put that in the show notes. But
no, that I'd rather put in the DNS Doom. But
D is for Doom. I liked that one, Jeremy. Good call.
But then we'd have to explain DNS, and it just...
I know. It just seemed there was already enough deep thought in this, so I skipped that one.
Let us move to gaming quick hits. The first story. Is this French? Advertisement?
No, warning.
It's a little slangy.
No, it's more warning. Because the thing is that in North America, our consumer protection is pretty toothless. In the EU, it isn't. And so Ubisoft killed the crew. People are still upset about this. Josh might be one of them. I don't know if you really
talking about this a few months ago.
I've never played it.
Yes. But regardless, it was a mostly single-player game with mandatory online components, as in, if you didn't have internet and you couldn't check into one of the Ubisoft servers, it would not launch. Ubisoft is like, well, why the hell is everyone playing this? We've got the crew too, and you should be buying this. So they shut down the servers, and the game became unplayable. Stop Killing Games, the North American version of people who want you to stop killing games, has been fighting for this for a while. But UFC Cage Chosia is a very, very large French consumers protection group who is taking Ubisoft to court in the EU, where they could actually face significant, not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in possible fines for literally killing a game that did not need to have mandatory internet and did not need to be killed by killing that mandatory internet component and rendering the game useless. There's a lot of people doing this, publishers doing this. Ubisoft is one of the worst, but some of us are old enough to remember GameSpy and it dying and being really glad that at least Steam grabbed some of it. But it's might help be a win for us that want to play a single player game without a bloody mandatory internet connection needed, lest you never be able to play the game again, even though you don't want to play it multiplayer or online, much like Windows Update for Windows 11 previous versions was. Microsoft suddenly got sued, lost, and had to start providing updates in the EU and realized, well, I guess we might as well just provide them. So,
ironically enough, Windows 11 also a single player game
with a mandatory multiplayer part to it. Except for that bypass NRO, but we're not supposed to mention that constantly. Link to the article. So yeah, hopefully this will actually help a little bit, because I'm bloody well getting sick of the continual erosion of single player games that, no, I'm sorry, if you can't hit our online servers, we can't verify that you're not cheating against yourself or
insane
racking up points that we can show off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I think Stop Killing Games has come up with a few ways around that, especially targeting Ubisoft, as
yes,
we talked about
but
a few weeks ago.
Then you got to get it polish up on your lawyer skills, because you will get sued
for running a local bounce, like a mirror service, just to say that your local startup actually. I suppose so.
They learned from Sony and Nintendo and all the rest of them.
Hey, speaking of Sony, and this isn't supposed to be the depressing segment of the show, that was Insecurity Corner, but you know how for a while we've been saying with rising component costs, if you just want to play games and you got $500, just get a PlayStation to play games, because it's crazy. That's the cost of 32 gigs of RAM.
A PlayStation 2.
Well, the PlayStation 5
you might be able to afford for $500.
PlayStation 5 price goes up $150 tomorrow as we record this. So it'll be $649 for the basic PS5 instead of $499. Well, it went up to $549, but now it's $649. The digital edition, slightly cheaper, $599, and the PS5 Pro is going up to $899. The system that nobody really knew they wanted and probably still don't, $900. So yeah,
here during the show, it is about 11:26. So you've got just over 30 minutes if you want to take advantage.
if you're a live streamer, you're thinking about buying that PlayStation 5.
Now would be the time.
Just do it.
Please don't do that, because then Brett, you will get angry at Brett and you'll take it out on us. Just don't.
Don't what?
Keep the money. Well, you'll need it for gasoline.
You've never played Astrobot or Astro's Playroom, the built-in game. It's great. It's one of the best platformers I've ever played.
However, we are giving out Sebastian's phone number in case you haven't noticed. So call him with complaints.
Yeah, if you need to call me to see that sweet Motorola logo again on my phone.
Hear that ringtone? That ringtone is so classic.
Hello,
Moto. Just classic.
Just keep the money. That $7.49 will buy you 1 gallon of gas in 6 months.
That $7.49 will buy you 16 gigabytes of DDR5 in 6 months.
And just to tie into the last two stories, if you're like, I don't need the PlayStation, I'm a Switch customer. Well, Switch is lowering the price of their digital games so that the physical copies now cost more than the digital.
The cartridge games.
But it's fine because you can trust them to continue providing you that digital version.
Well, they don't even really sell physical games half the time anyway. It's a card that's a key that unlocks the digital download.
And that costs more than the online version
I'm an old man. I like physical games, and I like to have my own library offline at home.
Get out of my yard.
Yeah.
No, old man yells at cloud.
Yes, but you know what? Maybe Sony's raising their prices, but that Switch 2, it's still $449. You thought it was too expensive at $449, considering it's just the logical update to the Switch. Yeah. But instead of being $249, it's $449.
Yes.
Finally, from Game Rant, Epic Games Store users have until April 5 to claim yet another game for free. What is it this time? Is it something?
It is Together After Dark, which is a 4-player horror survival psycho co-op game. If you like that sort of thing and you just want to hang out with 3 of your friends, it's actually not a bad deal for free. Could be a lot of fun. I know that there's a lot of other psychological horror games that are a blast to play. Jump scares abound, but this is co-op, so it's not PvP, but that's still pretty fun. It's for a great night of gaming, in my opinion, for $0. This isn't the only one that's free. They have a handful of other ones that are also available. So don't forget that every Thursday, Epic throws out at least one free game. So go grab this one. Put it in your library next to all the other ones that you virtually have and don't play.
Well,
maybe you just need to find 3 other friends. Maybe just find 3 friends.
You don't need friends and you don't need money. If you go to Epic Game Store, they have a game called Fortnite that's free to play.
Oh,
and you can get on there and play with people all around the world for free. And then they use aimbot and destroy you, and you get really mad, and then you break
frustration
or your mouse.
Yeah, and you throw stuff. You throw stuff at your monitor.
Yeah. So, yeah. Shall we move to picks of the week?
Could we?
Yeah, Josh, did you have a pick, or did you just mail in the whole show? No burger, and now no pick, right?
No, I got a pick.
Oh, good.
Sitting up there.
Yeah, it is. I was giving you.
It's there. Okay, so Jim Tanis knows that I'm a big Buffalo Bills fan for obvious reasons, and he sent me a care package from Buffalo, and included in there is this wonderful, wonderful hot mustard spread from Weber's.
Oh, Weber's
from Buffalo, and this stuff is fantastic. It livens the party, if you will, of any sandwich or anything that has bread that you want to put on, or even a burger. you can throw this on there. Now, this is the 16 ounce. You could probably get a smaller one for far cheaper. But let me tell you, I've gone through my bottle fairly quickly in a matter of a month. So, Weber's hot mustard sandwich spread. Anyway, get it. It's good.
And Jim is alive, as far as you know.
He is.
Apparently he talks to Josh.
Talks to me else. And he sends me stuff.
Yeah,
I haven't talked
nice.
in months, actually, I don't think.
All right, Jeremy. Jeremy, your pick.
I just had to look it up, and my God, that's expensive in Canada. Vive le Canada. We do not care about your stinking router rules. And the Ubiquiti Unify U7 Pro is on sale. It's not an amazing sale, but it is not one of the ridiculously vulnerable WAPs that you can buy. Ubiquiti does a decent job. At least so I'm told. I really got annoyed with their interface the better part of 8-10 years ago. I'm told it's much, much better now. And this is a very good WAP because it is coming up on summer. You're going to be outside. You're going to want Wi-Fi. And your little Wi-Fi repeater is not going to help you. But a PoE, because there is no power plug on this thing apparently, it's just strictly PoE, which is a good thing, will give you 6 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and 2.4 gigahertz. With about 300 connections, if you want to share it with your neighbors. If you don't, that's fine. 2.5 gigabit uplink. Not 1. 2.5. 140 meters coverage. This thing is going to be a little expensive, but as long as you can plug it in, and hey, you can mesh with it as long as you've got that Ethernet cable and a PoE connection to it. Not a bad investment. I'm kind of kicking myself, and I wish I'd seen this before I bought mine. That's not awesome, but it's okay.
I have a U6 Pro and an older 5LR, and I have them scattered, in the house in different places, and they work great. I have heard occasionally not all the best things about the U7. They may have fixed it in later firmware. So look carefully at U7 issues before you buy, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ubiquiti stuff probably 7 to 10 years ago was not great.
That's when I ran into it, and I hated it.
Yeah, but what they have done with it in the last 5 years is amazing. From an enterprise opinion, when you can log in and just manage everything we have like 8 offices around the US, and we all use the Ubiquiti stuff. It's so easy to manage. So easy to manage. It's wonderful. So yeah, they've got a lot of great tools. The hardware seems pretty solid. They're in a good place. So, and their prices aren't horrible.
I will buy a Ubiquiti device and pay $20 more for it just so I can manage it on the single pane of glass. It is so
why
nice
wouldn't you
to be able to do that? Yeah.
No, I went Omada and TP-Link, and Omada isn't that bad, but I'm kind of wishing that I'd realized that Ubiquiti had come better.
Listening to Jeremy talk made me realize that the router ban is going to be prohibition for the 21st century. We're going to be sneaking routers across the Canadian border. There will be underground speakeasy internet cafes.
Right, exactly.
We'll call
this is a Mexican TP link. Dude. Yeah.
Brett, did you have a pick this week?
Yeah, exactly. I'm keeping with the exact same sort of vein scheme as Jeremy here, and hearkening back to the FCC issue and the joke we made last week about just run pfSense. Well, if you're going to do that, you're probably going to want some sort of hefty networking card to go into your pfSense box. Don't overspend. Why not get this slightly older generation Intel X520 DA2? It's a dual SFP Plus. It's a 8x Ethernet NIC for about $12. So you can have incoming on one side and your local network on the other. It's like about $10 to $12.
But for 100 times the cost, I could buy a Mac Pro and do the same thing.
I mean, you could, and not the Mac Pro, but the surprisingly enough, the Mac Pro as well as the Studio, they have 10 gig built in. By the way,
that's true. Hey, a Mac Studio, a great choice for a pfSense box, right?
Yes, but very expensive. You might want to build a pfSense box out of cheaper hardware, one that you can throw this card in, especially for $12. You can get yourself a dual 10 gig NIC. Very, very, very cost effective if you're into rolling your own routing. Excellent. The SFP Plus transceivers will be a little bit of money, but it's fine.
All right. And Kent, your pick this week.
My pick of the week is not anything you can buy, but as American taxpayers, if you are an American citizen out there, you've probably own a tiny little piece of this technically. This is NASA is my pick of the week because we're going to the moon again. We're not landing this time, but we're going to the moon again. And, people of the age of most of us on this podcast, we don't remember going to the moon, but we remember how important it was in the 70s and 80s.
I remember Skylab falling from the sky. So
I do that as well, but I don't remember ever watching a Saturn rocket take off. But I watched the Artemis II lift off today, and that was great.
That was hella cool.
Seeing that we're pushing the boundaries again. There's arguments to be made that money could be spent better on Earth, but it's still really cool. And maybe one day they'll put an amusement park there.
Mm-hmm. And there was history.
There was a YouTube chat comment some time ago that was about investing in moon-based helium farms. So, I mean, there
isn't much HE3 up there. It
all comes back to chip manufacturing and cheaper memory pricing. Like most things.
Fool Dream knows what I meant by
the HE3 or H3 helium.
No, an amusement park on the moon.
Oh,
Futurama.
This may be 25 years of PC perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he would look this up.
Well, 25 years as PC perspective, right? Because I think AMD
was
2004 was PCPer.
Yeah.
He changed it.
Yeah. Because it was the AMD before that, and then it was K7M before that.
Yeah,
Lord help me, I joined in K7M.
Yeah, independent, non-corporate websites that last 25 years. It's something.
It was April 1st when Hard OCP basically died.
I remember that.
Oh, Kyle's doing fine.
Kyle posted on April 1st that he was leaving and shutting it down. And it was like, oh, Kyle, this is a joke. But he wasn't joking.
Nope.
It wasn't a joke.
That was like 10 years ago, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah. It's quite a while.
Yeah, about that.
All right, well, on this depressing...
But he's still alive because he sold his Viper.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I think so. Yeah, for an RV.
On that note, we're going to say
that's
goodbye
pretty sad
for the week, and we'll be back with another exciting edition of the PC Perspective podcast next time. And we can't wait to share all of our thoughts and feelings with you at that time. All of our references to deceased celebrities and all of our
there's tie-ins. We're always doing a
commentary
tie-in
on the American political system and how lobbying ruins everything. But until then,
hey, at least there are free games out there from Epic. They may not be the great games, but you know what? They're free, and you can have them. You can have a little bit of joy in your life, even
like
though
Jill of the
life
Jungle?
it's like a spigot that they pound into the bottom of your back, and they open it up, and all the joy in your life just pours out right behind you. But Epic Games is there to give you a free game.
Next week, if you know the number, and you should, Sebastian will be taking your calls live on the air.
yes, and you'll hear the motor ringtone and all the whole 9 yards.
And
if you ever plug that into Keith Richards' spine, I will be there.
Yeah, how about papers? Can you deliver the papers?
You got my papers?
You got my papers?
You know what? That was so long ago. That person probably passed away.
Is no longer with us.
That's sad.
Another dead celebrity reference. Nice.
God, I've been here for 16 years. 8. Gosh, I'm trying 18, to do addition.
25, 32.
18 years.
Only 12 for me.
January 1st, 2008, I joined PC Perspective. God damn.
March of 2014 for me. So it hasn't been that long.
I don't know. It was probably in the 1800s sometime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, actually, they were still using BC when you PC Perspective. So,
This before computers?
Yes, before.
Yes.
Before
we were doing it by semaphore.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Later.